Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to episode 153 of Freshly Grounded. This episode is with Sunnah Remedies. But before we get into it, guys, we are going on tour. We're going live for a UK tour in Birmingham, Manchester and London. We're going to be doing a live theatre tour. You can grab your tickets at freshlygrounded.com/tour. We're going to have some keynote talks. We're going to have some special guests. We're going to have a lot of fun. And it's going to be a great event to bring your whole family to. So please do check out the tickets at freshlygrounded.com/tour. We're about 6 weeks away. So I think the early bird discount code for some reason still works, which is a good amount of money off. Type in the code earlybird at freshlygrounded.com/tour. Also, guys, if you want to support Freshly Grounded, we are happy to announce that we have revamped our Patreon, which means that we got a whole new bunch of tiers. You get a whole new lot of advantages if you sign up to the different tiers for just as little as £5 per month. You can sign up to Patreon. You can help support Freshly Grounded, and you can get a bunch of freebies, goodies, and perks along the way, such as intro-free episodes. So you don't have to listen to me now on. You can just go straight to the guest and a bunch of other stuff. Do check it out at patreon.com/freshly grounded. And lastly, before we get into the episode, we are helping to raise money, inshallah, for the families who are innocent families who are fleeing war in Idlib in Syria. Human Appeal got in touch with us and they let us know that they're providing shelter, food, clothing to these families. They're going to try and help them get to safety. And you can help towards that by heading over to justgiving.com/freshly-grounded. That's justgiving.com/freshly-grounded. Do check that out. Now, this episode is with Sunnah Remedies. We talk all sorts, such as coronavirus. We talk about religion. We speak a bit about hijama. We speak about public sins. We speak about books and reading books. A bunch of stuff. General good chit chat with Sunnah Remedies. He's a favourite here on Freshly Grounded, so I know you guys will be happy to hear that we have him on. And I actually think that looking at my processor, that my mic hasn't been working very good for this intro. So that's annoying if that's the case. But we'll find out when I go ahead and edit this. If you are listening to this, that means it has worked good enough for me to put it out. With that being said, listen, have fun listening to episode 153 of Freshly Grounded.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded,
No, after that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit?
by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Really?
It's not connecting. Them lights are meant to go purple. Yeah, but let's get started though, akhi. You know what's funny, yeah? Is let me just. I'm worried about my mic because I feel like my wire is a bit loose.
Let's go check it.
If it is, it is. You know what I mean? Actually, we were talking in the office today, yeah? There we go, purple, look at that.
Boom, nice.
Right, so basically, we were talking in the office today, so funny, yeah? We were saying that, you know, because of all this panic buying that's going on right now,
Yeah.
we were saying that this would be a great time for a plumber to put out Facebook ads and just like mass target it about installing the B-days.
The what?
The B-day, the Muslim shower. Innit?
To clean themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, that would be very good.
We're saying that that's a amazing marketing tactic, like, right now.
It is. I think right now, obviously you have the virus, the coronavirus, and the huge panic that's going around, which is quite subhanAllah. It's come out of nowhere. What do you think, bro? Like in terms of like how it's just obviously originated from, they say, the Wuhan area in China, and then all of a sudden it's gone viral. Subhanallah.
It has come out of nowhere a bit, innit?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I think a lot of people were.
I feel like it's happened over time, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
I was watching I think it was a Channel 4 where a news reporter was saying that like they were accusing Chinese officials of kind of like trying to cover it up and how they were trying to like imprison doctors.
I saw that news
was on
report.
Channel 4.
I saw that news report.
Yeah, which was quite.
No, I saw that on an American one. Like someone sent it on Instagram or something.
Okay. So
Yeah, but do you know what's interesting is the panic buying.
it's crazy
Because
bro.
I have wanted for the past few days to go shopping, to do my weekly shop, genuinely. Like, I just want to go grab a few things. On that list is toilet roll, yeah? But bro, I'm shook of going there and looking like one of them bodies. I'm shook, first of all, that there's going to be nothing in the shop
aisles.
for me, aisles for me. But I decided that tonight I have to go. So we're going to go food shopping tonight. Because I just got to get bits, man. Like today we used our last 2 eggs. Like I'm out of shopping. So hopefully, inshallah, when we go to the shops today, that there's actually going to be stuff. Because I'm a bit worried that there's not going to be anything.
So alhamdulillah, you don't fall into the category of panic buying then, yeah?
Nah, that's not me.
It's quite...
Not like I'm on my high horse, but I'm lazy.
Yeah, so
I wouldn't even panic. For me, panic would be like, I don't know, bro. Like it doesn't. For some reason in my head, I just haven't wanted to panic by.
You know, I don't think. Obviously, yani, bidnillah, I don't think there is a reason to panic, because obviously, like, you know, we have to understand right now. There's a lot of misinformation about the actual coronavirus, where there is a 99% cure rate.
Cure rate, yeah.
Cure rate, and majority of those people that do suffer are those that have a compromised immune system. And we know that the first line of defense from your body in terms of viruses, bacteria, is your immune system.
I have a compromised immune system.
No, but as in we're talking like people, they're saying that people that have, like, say, for example, respiratory issues, cancer. And bro, like, you know what, realistically speaking, akhi, like, if your immune system, and obviously, as you know, alhamdulillah, as Muslims, we do take our, our asbab, our kind of precautionary measures, you know, and we leave the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in terms of, like, we do have a level of degree, inshallah, of tawakkul. And bro, like, alhamdulillah, our deen provides us with so many options to boost our immune system. And like every day our body produces cancerous cells. Like, not like, you know, every day your body has cancerous cells, but the fact that the immune system, you know, alhamdulillah, is strong, it has the ability to kind of detect those cancerous cells and destroy them. And we know, like, alhamdulillah, in our deen, there's like honey, like 70%, like a lot of people, like 70% of your immune system is located in your gut. If your gut, say for example, you have an imbalance in your gut bacteria, then obviously your immune system is compromised. That's why the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned honey, having a good diet, having a diet that's high in foods that are fermented, that also increases your gut bacteria. Habba soda, black seed oil, bro. Like, why is no one talking about black seed oil? Why is no one talking about honey? Black seed oil, bro, like, it's mad. You know, black seed oil, it's got a phytochemical compound known as thymoquinine, and this, akhi, is proven on cell studies to kill off like a lot of it's to kill off a lot of bacteria. It's antibacterial, antifungal. Yeah, the studies are carried out on cell. There's cell studies, and they're carried out on rats. But yani, there is an element of truth to it, and it needs to be further researched. So imagine that, subhanAllah, that increase this black seed oil, akhi. That helps to, and they say to a certain degree it helps. There've been studies on rats that it helps to stop the growth of tumors.
SubhanAllah.
Imagine that, akhi. Like, your immune system is the first line of defense. Your immune system, like vitamin C, honey, alhamdulillah, is is high in antioxidants. Try to increase in your foods. Try to increase in foods that have high levels of antioxidants, whether it's berries, whether it's blueberries, blackberries, and it could be honey, unpasteurized organic honey. These are the things that are going to kind of really, really help you to improve your immune system.
Yeah, I remember that when you gave me black seed oil, and I used to have it regularly, and now I've just come to the realization that I haven't had it in years.
Okay, you should start to.
Do you have some on you?
Yeah, I can get you some sent out.
If you can.
Of course, akhi.
Because you got the good one, innit?
Yeah, it's cold pressed from Ethiopia. And obviously, like, a lot of people, they know it as, there's like the habba soda, the black seed oil is known as...
How do you say that slowly? Habba soda?
Habba soda. In Arabic, it's habba.
But is it, yeah, and then is there
السوداء.
Oh.
حبة السوداء وحبة السوداء وحبة السوداء.
Habba soda.
حبة السوداء.
Oh, soda like black.
Black, yeah.
And what does habba mean?
Seed. Habba.
Oh, habba.
Or like all it's known as Nigella sativa, the black curcumin powder, the black curcumin seed. It's got a lot of names, and it comes from the plant Nigella sativa. and it's got a lot. It's got a lot of. Even when they found that when the studies were carried out, it increases immune cell activities and antibodies and increases your immune activity and your antibody activity.
You know, every morning I used to have a spoon of that honey that you had for me, and I put a couple droplets of black seed oil. Back that, first of all, it would be at first the black seed oil is a bit like
bitter.
Not nice,
it's quite
but
strong.
eventually you get used to it.
Yeah.
And with the honey, it's nice. And on top of that, it would like satisfy my sweet tooth.
Subhanallah. So you notice, yeah.
Actually, can I get that back, please?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I'll give it to you, bro.
That honey that
the
you
honey,
gave
I've
us
got the honey as well. It's going to be in stock next week. But in terms of that's something that's separate. Obviously, we don't want to kind of like come onto the show just to advertise.
Nah, but I just remembered.
Barakallah fik, akhi. But in terms of like your immune system, generally speaking, try to increase in your vitamin C. It's really, really important, bro. And at the end of the day, akhi, as alhamdulillah, as the Muslim, we have to understand that there are certain guidelines that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has set out for us, especially when there is a plague. Say for example, like not if you heard that there's a huge outbreak in a particular town. Say for example, now you have the case of Italy, where they've quarantined, I think it was 18 million people. And we know that this is from our deen. We know that the Prophet ﷺ said that if there is an outbreak, a huge outbreak of a plague of they call it in Arabic, it's called
don't look for me to help.
No. It's called
Wow, you said that. No way.
No, because I'm trying al-baras and
there's gonna be people.
Ta'un.
I was gonna say there's probably people screaming at their screen right now.
Ta'un. Yeah, ta'un. If there's an outbreak of a plague, known as ta'un. Yeah, it's a plague that obviously no one should leave it, and and if you hit, no one should enter it. So if you're in a place where the outbreak is epidemic, you shouldn't leave, and it's broken out. Or like if you hear of a place, don't go to it. Do you understand? Mentally, Italy now. Italy, like the outbreak is proper gone crazy. So now they've quarantined like the whole of northern Italy.
Isn't the whole country locked off now? Everyone's self-isolating. I think so, bro.
Is it
like
the
in
whole
Milan
country?
And stuff.
I know it's the Milan area and the northern parts.
Oh, is it Milan in north?
And I can't remember the name. Medellin's in Colombia. What I'm talking about.
Italy struggles to cope with lockdown. In Italy, here you go. The latest figures from Italy show that 631 deaths and 10,149 cases. Travel is restricted across Italy and public gatherings are forbidden. The World Trade Organization suspends all meetings until 20th of March. Iran reports 54 deaths. Akhi, what I was going to say, is, I forgot, man. It was something to do with this, though. Yeah. I was reading, online that there was like, I can't remember where it was, but there was like 3,000 deaths, but 55 or like 300 deaths or something like that at a certain time, but 55,000 people had it and recovered.
Yeah, look, look, at the end of the day, I think what the
apparently
panic...
the flu's killing more people.
Yeah, bro, flu's killing more people, cancer kills more people, obesity kills more people. I think, bro, what I think the panic stems from is that, like, because it's so contagious. This is what one of my nurses that come to me for wet cupping. He told me that I think the panic is there because they know it's highly contagious. Like you have your doctors, you have the police force, you have government officials, you have people that run the country. They're afraid that they could potentially come a time because it's because it's so contagious that there could be a period of time where like the whole country is handicapped basically. Like who's gonna run the country? That's why they're thinking about bringing in the army, because obviously like we know that there is a high rate where people do recover, but I think what they're trying to obviously, because there's a containment period where they're really panicking is that what if there is a time where NHS services collapse, police, if the police goes, the people will be looting and people will take advantage, bro. I think they're afraid that the country will probably come down to a collapse. That's what I personally feel, that the panic is there, and the panic is causing a lot of consequences on the economy. It's causing trillions of dollars disappeared from the markets, from the FTSE 100 fell.
I was
it's crazy, but the Chinese economy's it's almost it's stopped basically. It's crazy, bro. And subhanAllah, akhi, look how insignificant we are. But yet, akhi, I wrote a post on my Instagram a couple of days ago, like, you know, subhanAllah, sometimes we feel that we can walk the earth so arrogantly and so proud. But akhi, a little virus, subhanAllah, that we can hardly see, like, you can't even see with your naked eye, has brought the world to its knees, bro.
Nah, shall I tell you what I saw that's powerful, bro? Even more powerful than that. Wow, this hit me, bro.
That's deep, Ax.
Let me tell you
Wallah.
something deeper. Look, this is what I read. To those who now have 28 packages of pasta, to those who are searching for the black market for hand sanitizer, to those who walk around with a face mask, and to those who are planning to flee their kids out of a corona-inflicted area, never again look down on people who flee from war and famine. I was like, wow.
That's deep, but you know
It's
what?
deep, Ak.
But you know what's mad? In something so small, there are so many lessons that Allah is trying to teach us.
But on that note, I do want to do a cheeky plug and say that we are trying to raise money on justgiving.com/freshly-grounded for people who are fleeing war at the moment, innocent families. And
Where is that? Around the Syrian area, subhanAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make their affairs easy. And you know, sometimes because we get so caught up in the coronavirus, we forget about what's happening.
But look at us running away from that, and then imagine they're running away from war.
From innocent people, like, getting bombed and persecuted. Like, look, you got things that are happening in, you know, China, India, China. What happened to the Uyghur Muslims, and obviously it is something that we should all kind of really, really be careful in regards to. But we should not forget about, like, people, like, you know what is, bro? I was researching about, obviously we know that plagues have appeared in the past, in the time of the Sahaba, in the time of Umar radiallahu anh. There was a plague that broke out in the Syria area, and many Sahaba, the likes of Bilal ibn Rabah, the first black Muslim, he died from a plague that broke out in Syria. You know, because obviously, like, sometimes you think, like, are we really going through? Yes, it's an epidemic. Yes, we should all take it seriously. Yes, it's sad, but alhamdulillah, we're not going through half of what, you know, other, you know, generations went through. And I was reading a story, I think it was of a Sahabi who lost 6 of his children to a plague.
Wow.
Imagine that, losing 6 of your children. And subhanAllah, he said a famous quote where he said, "Ana Muslim fastaslimt." I am a Muslim, so I have submitted myself to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine that you lose 6 of your kids and you bury them. Another Sahabi, he lost 30 of his children. Like, you know, alhamdulillah, yes, it is a plague, and alhamdulillah, you know, hopefully, inshallah, bi'idhnillah, we are equipped, you know, with the right tools. You know, alhamdulillah, we have hospital protocols. Now, I saw on BBC a video of how to wash your hands even. Who would ever thought that, bro? How to wash your hands. Don't you find that intriguing, bro? How are they teaching people? We should all know. Like, you know, now, sometimes I know, obviously, sometimes you try to see the funny side of it, but now there's videos of how to wash your hand. But you're thinking, okay, so if you are so adamant on washing your hands now, what were you lot doing before? Yeah,
that's like I remember my high school teacher once. He said to me that he saw an advert from McDonald's and it said, "We now use 100% beef in our burgers," and he said, that, don't you guys think that how mad, because he was against, he wasn't a Muslim, but he was against, like, stuff like McDonald's, innit? And he come into English one day because he was our English teacher, and he told us about the advert, and he goes, don't you guys think, like, that they say we now use 100% beef? What was you using before?
It's true.
Yeah,
it's like
if it wasn't 100% beef then what was you using in your beef burgers before?
Yeah,
but yeah, it's funny.
Like, hygiene should be the priority of every single person, and you know, our religion teaches that.
There's this teacher, the primary school teacher, who I was reading an article about. Basically, she was getting her students to wash their hands, because of this coronavirus situation. Like, they have to do it regularly or something. And her, like, technique went viral amongst teachers because what she did is, because obviously they're like 5-6-year-olds, so they don't understand the seriousness of, like, they like washing their hands for a long time. Yeah. So what she did is she got them all to queue up to the sink, and what they have to do is they wet their hands, and then they pump the soap in their hands. Then they have to go to the back of the line and rub their hands until they get to the front of the line again, and then they wash it.
Enough time.
So it gives enough time, and then that technique went viral, like, amongst the teachers. Who were like, oh, that's a clever way.
SubhanAllah,
it's quite clever, isn't it?
That's very, very smart. So it gives them enough time.
Yeah, because obviously they're kids, bro. They're not gonna.
Yeah, but I don't know, but I personally feel that hygiene should be an important part of everybody's life, corona or no corona. Do you understand, Akhi? Like, you know.
But people take extra care though at this time, which is understandable.
Yeah, which is understandable, but I don't know, man.
Because, like, people don't, maybe, even me, bro. Like, if I'm, like, opening doors and this, that, the other, I'm not gonna necessarily put hand sanitizer on every time.
That's true. That's fair enough. Fair enough.
But then you're a bit more on high alert.
You're a bit more conscious.
A bit more conscious, like you don't want to share your drinks with people and stuff like that. Not that you would generally share your drinks with people.
No, alhamdulillah, man. No, but it's just, you know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, like look, for every, the Prophet ﷺ said, لِكُلِّ دَاءٍ دَوَاء عَلِمَهُ مَنْ عَلِمْ وَجَهِلَهُ مَنْ جَهِلَ. Like, for every disease, for every illness, there is a cure. You know, the one that knows it, knows it. The one that is ignorant of it is ignorant of it. And inshallah, hopefully we can come up with a cure, with a vaccine. And inshallah, this panic can kind of really die down. Things can go back to...
People will be queuing up for that vaccine, isn't it?
Boy, there's going to be a lot of money made, isn't it?
Pharmaceutical industry.
You said it. You said it. And to be honest, bro, like...
they must be racing to make something happen.
They're saying that it could take a year, but I think I don't think
working
they can...
day and night.
Day and night. I don't think they could wait that long because... And I think sometimes, you know, when these things happen, you really appreciate the freedom of movement. You really appreciate the freedom to go about and do your work. I think when these kind of things do happen, wallah, like we're much more appreciative of just simple day-to-day things. Like, you know, subhanAllah, I mean, that's what it's taught me. But I think it's quite important that we do recognize the blessings that we do have and make the most of them, bro.
Agreed.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm just looking at the camera and I'm thinking to myself that it's a bit too much angle towards me.
It's all right, bro.
Because we haven't got Tim here to focus on the cameras.
It's all right.
I might go and just move it a bit. So I think you're the star of this.
No.
Look at me. I'm just sitting like I'm sitting in my village.
Boy, we're relaxed, akhi. We're relaxed. Do I make you feel relaxed, Faisal, yeah? Habibi. But yeah, akhi, man, it's mad. But yeah, it's...
There you go. I'm a bit more comfortable with that. Yeah, so, do we want to spend the entire podcast speaking about the virus and just feeling down in the dumps?
No.
What's going on, man? How's the cupping going?
It's good, alhamdulillah.
What's the blood saying?
Well, the blood keeps flowing, akhi.
Yeah,
the blood keeps Sunnah remedies keep flowing, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. It's good. Alhamdulillah, we're, like any other kind of, you know, service, we're always finding ways to improve. We're gonna make mistakes. You know what I find difficult is sometimes, subhanAllah, you get some criticism from other brothers or other parties in terms of what you do. But I suppose when you're on social media, you know, subhanAllah, when you're on your way, inshallah, to making a change, maybe you will face criticism. But as long as, you know, for me, I'll be real with you, as long as it's constructive criticism, I don't have really an issue with it. But you know what really hurts me is when it becomes personal, especially when you're trying to do your thing.
You know what, Akhi, that's something that powerful just comes to my head, Akhi, man. I wish I remembered this more often because sometimes it gets to me as well. And I don't remember this. But for some reason, you mentioning that now, it just reminded me, my teacher, Ustad Yahya, I was speaking to him about this one time, yeah. And I think something got me down, bro, man. I think we're human.
We're human at the end of the day, huh?
Okay, you know what he said to me?
What?
Powerful. He goes, Faisal, even Allah has let people on this earth talk bad about him. Like look at how the people how
attribute
the people,
a son to him.
Yeah.
And
look at the stuff that people say about Allah. He said Allah didn't even Allah didn't even stop that from happening to himself.
Yeah, but it's sad when it comes from people that you think, you know, like your brothers or, you know, I don't know, man. You know, from certain people it's expected because the Prophet ﷺ said that everybody that is blessed, and everyone is blessed, but some people don't see their blessings, is mahsood, is envied. And it's unfortunate to see it from people that, you know, represent maybe a level of, you know, some level of practicing of the deen, which is quite sad, you know, to say the least. And like I said, you are going to expect criticism, but as long as it's constructive and from people that you don't expect.
But you know what, bro, is so beautiful is that you got the personality and character where if that person or those people were to meet you in person, they would be so like they would fall in love with your character to the point where they wouldn't. The problem is that people, it's easy to talk bad about someone who you haven't met. Is my
Yeah.
point. When you see someone face to face, akhi, and they treat you well, and akhi, I really believe that anyone you meet, you treat well. And
I'll try my best to.
So if they was to meet you, it wouldn't even be like that. And even look at subhanallah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, akhi, when it reminds me of that story of the old woman, akhi, who the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam walked all the way back with, and she was saying all these things. Don't. There's a man called Muhammad. Stay away from him. And then at the end, you know what I mean, akhi? But because of his character, she became Muslim. Subhanallah. Yeah, man. With regards to like feeling sad and feeling happy and stuff, I was reading something recently that I found really powerful, and it was about how the feeling of happiness is kind of attained with the release of dopamine. Yeah. But do you know the difference between dopamine and I think it's called oxytocin?
No.
So both of them like give this. I think it's called oxytocin. I might be saying it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's called oxytocin. Both of them give this feeling of happiness. So when it's released in the body, it feels good. The difference between dopamine and oxytocin is that dopamine is like a short-term burst, and you can feel it. So, like for example, that's why people get dopamine when they're smoking weed, or people get dopamine when they're like just little things. They get dopamine, right? But oxytocin is what we should be after, because what oxytocin does is it gives a long-term effect.
It's long-lasting,
right? So oxytocin is that feeling for like for example, when you the more interactions you have with someone, like you fall in love with someone, the more you get to know them.
Yeah, on a longer kind of scale.
Right, and the more you get to know them, the more experience you have with them, the more you fall in love with them.
No.
But that's because each time you're like installing more oxytocin. The other thing that oxytocin is produced by is by touch. So when you're like, for example,
that's mad scientifically.
Yeah. It increases with touch. So for example, when you're like, you're cuddling your child, like that, like touch, that actually releases
that chemical oxytocin.
And that creates a long-term bond, so that whereas dopamine is that short-term burst of it, which is still good, but you want to get as much oxytocin. So oxytocin is also the same thing that, when let's say for example you're watching something like a documentary, a movie, and you see something and it you feel sad because something sad happens, or you feel happy when something happens. That's the same. It's a release of oxytocin, because it's like that. It's like built like a long-term kind of effect.
Relationship.
I think that's amazing.
That's
man.
deep. And you know what? When you explain it like that, it's like there's a difference between happiness and fun, or happiness and enjoyment. Happiness is long-lasting and healthy, and I don't know, fulfilling temporary desires. I don't know. I think. Happiness,
you're right, because you can get short bursts of dopamine through loads of means, but they're not always the best thing for you long term. They could actually affect you negatively long term. Of course, like for example, drugs. Like you might get a bit happy with drugs, and then long term it's going to affect you. You might get a bit happy with gambling, you get a bit of money. Long term,
addiction, obviously.
Right, you get addicted. So when it comes to something like oxytocin, it seems like I would love to read more into it, because this is only from the chapter. The book that I was reading, by the way, is called Leaders Eat Last by I can't remember.
So what do you like to like? Is it a podcast or
it's an audible? Yeah.
So I think you've spoken to me about reading books about leadership. What books have you kind of really listened to that because you said to me you're going to mention a few to me last time we.
Okay, so one of my recent favorites is called The Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger, and that basically is the CEO of Disney. Well, actually, he just recently resigned, shockingly.
Is it?
So maybe there's like I don't know, but anyway.
Maybe what?
I don't know. Actually, I'm just thinking like man wasn't going to resign, and all of a sudden maybe he's hiding something in it.
Oh, maybe he said if you don't resign.
Do you know what I mean? It sounds a bit like it. But anyway, he released this book called The Ride of a Lifetime. It's amazing. It's about leadership, how to hire people, how to fire people, how to build in business. The Ride of a Lifetime. Obviously, because it's Disney, innit?
The Ride of a Lifetime.
The Ride of a Lifetime.
And what's the other one that you're?
Leaders Eat Last.
Okay.
So I'm currently reading Leaders Eat Last, yeah. And in this same chapter, it tells me is another thing that really hit me. And he said that my favorite definition of love, listen to this definition of love. Actually, let me ask you first for a definition of love. So think back to your relationship with your missus, for example. Like define love. Be careful now, because I said think about your relationship with your missus. Probably listening. Like
love.
I think describe it in a sentence or two.
I think obviously it's something quite personal for me. Love is.
Get real personal, bro.
Okay, love is being selfless. I think love is being very selfless. Love is putting those who you love first before yourself, before your needs.
Jamil.
I'm trying to. Now
You're trying to jump it.
No. You know what? Obviously, you've put me on the spot and you've made me kind of. I'm trying to open up, and I'm trying to be honest. What I think is love. Love is actually wanting the best for your partner, wanting the best for those who you love. It's deep, bro. What is love, akhi? Yeah, that's a good question.
I know, akhi. All of the points that you said, I agree with. Yeah. But this definition, I think, covers all of that. I think it's such a beautiful definition. He said, my favorite definition of love is this. Let me get it right, yeah? Okay, I've got one shot at saying it smoothly, Ak.
Yeah, go on then. Otherwise, you're getting sacked.
He goes, my favorite definition of love is this. The definition of love is giving someone the power to destroy you and trusting they won't use it.
Allah, that's deep. That is deep. That's 20 brownie points, boy.
That's powerful, innit?
That's deep. Because that's what love is,
because you're making yourself completely vulnerable to it. You're giving them the tools to destroy you, Ak. But you trust that they will never use that.
Subhanallah. That's the reality, though.
That's the reality. And that encapsulates everything you're saying, because you're putting someone before you. Because even by giving them that so much trust, where you're saying, here, I'm vulnerable to you, you're putting them before you, because you're saying, look, don't worry about me. Here's how I can help. And even if it makes me vulnerable, I'll help that. So, actually, I found that definition. Woo!
Yeah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, isn't it? Like, in terms of, obviously, we're talking love between a husband and a wife.
That seemed like the...
Like antum libasun lahunna, that they are basically like a cloak for you and you for them.
Obviously, actually, that's even better description.
And a cloak is something because you wear something. A cloak is normally or a garment is something that is worn, and underneath that cloak is your skin. So that's the proximity. Antum libasun lahunna wa antum libasun lahunna.
And it covers you.
It covers you. It covers your faults.
Yeah, it keeps you warm.
Yeah. So actually, look, that's deep. That's
powerful, innit?
That's powerful.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Do you know what? This book, I really didn't like it. But I kept saying, you know what, I'm going to give it a chance, because I heard good things about it. Actually, I'm getting for chapter 1, don't like it. Chapter 2, don't like it. I don't know what chapter. I'm early on in the book.
Yeah.
But
it's good. What's it called?
This chapter.
Leaders eat last.
Leaders eat last.
Stuff like that the Prophet ﷺ done.
Yeah,
he ate last. And he told us how to eat, and then he would eat after.
I would recommend this book to anyone. You know why? Because everyone is a leader in some way in their lives. Like, whether they were a leader in their business, or even in their families. So I'm only on chapter 7. So it took me to get to chapter 7 to get into it, but now I'm into it. But yeah, in your family or leader, because you got to look after. If you're looking out for your kids and that. Yeah. Sometimes it's a mushkila, bro. You think like for example, a classic one is like, you got your food ready. It's hot. It's warm. You're ready. Just out to munch. You're hungry. You just spent time getting it ready, and then if you got a baby and a baby starts screaming and wants milk, your food's getting cold, boy.
Yeah. SubhanAllah. But even the concept of leadership,
that's literally leaders eat last.
Yeah, but even the concept of leadership in Islam is something that is really, really touchy, in terms of like we should never want leadership, because wanting leadership is something that is deemed not
is it like you shouldn't be like self-praising or arrogant?
Yeah, but you know what? It's like from our religion, akhi, like and I believe even in everyday, not just something to do with Islam and everyday life, leadership. You shouldn't really like want leadership. Those who really sometimes they want leadership to, because you have to understand, when you're in a position of leadership, you have the power to oppress. Do you understand? You have the power, and some people, akhi, They seek leadership only to oppress people. They seek leadership only to cause harm.
But my point is that everyone's leader in some way. In that even if you're a girl and you have a younger sister, you're a leader to that sister.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean?
I'm talking leadership on a mass scale, like a leader, like like I believe leaders. If leaders are, you're born a leader or you're not a leader. Like, you have qualities to lead, and sometimes
that's not me.
Yeah, me personally,
me, bro.
I even like, say for example, like
see, Omar, Omar's a leader.
Yeah.
Me, I'm a conformist.
Some people, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people in life, Allah has given them qualities to lead, and some people not to. I'll give you an example. If, say for example, there's a group of people and they've chosen you to lead, you haven't said to yourself, "Let me lead," or "I want to lead." Like, say for example, people see you, like it's not from you, it's people see, you know what, this person actually, he's a leader, he's well spoken, he can lead, he has the ability, he has good morals. If he's given power, he will not abuse it. So leadership, akhi, it's not for everyone. And even say, for example, like there was a case where even leading something so basic as leading the salah. There was a pious person. They told him lead the salah. This was in time of the Salaf. And when he went to lead the salah, I don't know the name, but I'll get you the name, inshallah. He said basically, obviously they pushed him to lead the salah. He led the salah, and you know when before you lead, you say istaw, which means like straighten up. So when he said that, he fainted. And they said to him, like, why did you faint? He said that when I said straighten up, it's like I heard a voice from the sky saying, have you straightened up with Allah to tell people to straighten up? Akhi, because it's, some people just have that piety. That's deep, akhi, because it's scary to be in a position of leadership because it's a responsibility. Like, it's a heavy responsibility because you should know that with leadership, with great leadership and comes great responsibility. You have to know that you're going to be accountable for everything.
You know what? Yeah,
that's deep, innit?
Yeah,
he fainted.
It's deep. I read a story. No, I listened to a story where this was an experience that I think one of the shuyukh went through. That they was traveling and they was in a masjid, yeah, and it's time for Maghrib came in, and we're used to seeing, like, for example, like you go to a masjid and you see posters that say wait for the imam at least 5 minutes, at least 10 minutes before you jump on the mic, basically, and stuff like that, because sometimes people just jump on.
Yeah, because mashallah, and that's a nasty habit,
But listen to this, yeah. He said he went to the masjid and he said that the imam was late like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The saf, they just stood there, and no one would step forward to lead the salah. Like, it got to the point where someone has to lead now. Like, obviously something's happened to the imam, he's not here, he's late. But no one wanted to lead. I think to the point where it got so bad that it got so late that somehow they resolved it and managed to get someone to lead. But the levels to which he was saying, he was shocked at the levels to which, like, nobody would lead because, like, they all felt shy to lead.
Yeah, bro, because leadership actually comes with leadership comes a lot of trials and tribulations, fame, like I said, abuse of power, and like even like the scholars, bro, they would shy away from leadership. They would shy away from fame. Like I think it was Abdullah ibn Mubarak. He went to, like, say for example, I think it was Abdullah ibn Mubarak, where there was a well, or like a place where they were, and I think I mentioned this before, where a lot of people were, there was like a well or a place where people were getting water, and he was basically competing with the people to fill his kind of container, and they were just treating him normal. So he looked at the sky and he says, you know what, I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for people treating me like a nobody. Like he went to a place where people didn't know him and he appreciated that.
Even when you listen to celebrities and stuff, they go on holidays and they love going to places where they're unknown, so that they can feel normal. You mean when they're unknown, innit? Yeah, what did I say?
Where they're known, I think.
Sorry, yeah, where they're unknown, yeah.
Yeah, because it becomes a burden, bro. Like, it becomes a burden. Imagine, yeah, everywhere you go, like...
you have to uphold yourself.
And even now, like, say, for example, I'll be real with you, like, I don't see myself as, like, someone quote-unquote famous, but... Because I'm on social media, because obviously, say for example, I do podcasts, especially now, it's much more often, and I try my best to use my platform to inspire people, to change people's perceptions of life. I have to be very, very, because at the end of the day, I am a human. I have to be very, very careful with what I say, what I do, extra careful. Already, alhamdulillah, I try my best to already do that. But naturally, people are so critical. It's just they're waiting for you just to say something or do something, and they run away with it. So you have to be careful. What about yourself? Like, do you, obviously, Allah Barak, you're much more kind of, like, I don't know, out there in the sense that...
No, I'm off that, bro.
No, but but as in naturally, obviously, like, alhamdulillah, you have obviously the main kind of CEO, you and the brother Sam.
Wow. I don't know, in my experience...
so, like, don't you get people, like, say, for example, especially when you went with Omar, like, I remember when we went to Omar, me, you, and Omar, like, Allahumma barik, like, we would get stopped here and there. And
do you know what, bro? I think that the only thing I can add to this discussion is this. When I was doing my own, when I was, like, really trying to push my own YouTube channel, vlogs and stuff like that, I remember if I did go somewhere like an ISOC or something like that, where maybe someone would say that they watch the vlogs and stuff, I remember always feeling a bit uncomfortable that you don't know what to say.
Awkward.
Yeah, awkward. Whereas when I stopped that and then I just started doing Freshly Grounded, and I feel like I'm so, I'm trying to achieve something within Freshly Grounded that's bigger than Faisal
Than
Chowdhury.
yourself,
Right,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a
That's deep. That's
movement
deep.
of Freshly Grounded.
Yeah.
So then what happened is, slowly people only would speak to me about Freshly Grounded. Like they'd be like, "Oh, we watch Freshly Grounded," and that always felt a bit more comfortable. Like because they're not praising me. They like the guests. You know what I mean? I'm just a person who delivers the guests to them.
Yeah, but you provide a
So
platform
so that feels a bit more comfortable because if someone says, "Oh, I watch your stuff, I love your stuff," it's like, what do I say to that? But when someone's like, "Oh, I love Freshly Grounded," I'm like, "Yeah, what's your favorite episode?" Like, I love that episode too. You know what I mean? That person, how good was that person?
So you deflect the attention from yourself.
Not on purpose, but I genuinely like can talk to them about that guest as a fact. Like if someone's like, "Oh, I love the episode that Sunnah Remedies on," I could be like, "Yeah, same here." Isn't it sick when he speaks about blah, blah, blah. Whereas if someone's like, "Oh, I like your Instagram," and then you're like, yeah, same. Like, what do you think of my filter? Like, you know what I mean? So it's nice, bro. Like, being able to build something that you feel like the community owns. You know,
Yeah,
I don't feel like Freshly Grounded is owned by me. I feel like it's a community project.
Yeah, but I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has used you as a tool, alhamdulillah, to push it out there. Do you understand? And I think, you know, what's so special about Freshly Grounded is it's something different. You know, especially for the people out there to listen to. It's not your typical podcast, in a sense. What do you think? This is my kind of take. You know, because I do listen to a few podcasts.
No knows best, bro.
Yeah, inshallah. This is like I said. This is something from this is what I feel.
I tell you one thing that nobody has ever commented on
Yeah.
that I know of
Yeah.
in Freshly Grounded's history, and
What do you mean history?
like in the history of Freshly Grounded, I don't think anybody's ever commented on this thing. Yeah,
Go on.
that ever since we got these lights, we never got the bulb underneath. Like we only got 4 bulbs, and we was meant to always get the 5th, but we didn't get it at the time. We were like, "Oh, we'll come back." I can't remember why.
Okay.
And to this day, we still haven't got the 5th bulb on both of the sides, and no one's ever commented and said, "Why are you guys missing a bulb?"
Do you get a lot of people that comment on small things? Is that why you're kind of surprised?
No, but generally, like, come on, you would eventually be like, "Why do these guys never have that bulb?" Like, it's just a case of all doing it.
Yeah, you should, bro. But it looks nice like this anyway.
No, it doesn't.
It
It
does.
just
I
looks
like
like
it.
one's missing.
Yeah.
We do need to get another bulb. Also, the bulbs, alhamdulillah, yeah, we've had them for many episodes and they've never. And now I say this, Akhi.
Allahumma barik. Yeah, listen, I don't want it to pop now.
Allahumma barik.
You
They've
lot are
never
watching,
never
yeah?
fused or popped.
Allahumma barik.
But Akhi, now, Allahumma barik.
Allahumma barik.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, man. It's good, man.
Yeah. So what you saying? Are you looking forward to the tour, bro? You're gonna come down, yeah?
I want
So
to,
now
bro. Am I invited,
Remedies,
yeah?
of course, bro. I'm gonna do like a game show element. So I want you to jump on stage.
Yeah,
We're gonna do something nice and fun with the crowd.
Yeah, I'd love
Inshallah,
to,
so we want
man.
our friends around, jump
I'd
on
love to.
stage,
I'd love to.
do a little
bro.
thing, mic you up.
Inshallah, why not, akhi, man?
Yeah.
So what's the plan for the tour, bro?
It's gonna be live, man. It's just gonna be a fun show, man. It's gonna be fun, man. I feel like we haven't had fun in a minute. You know what I mean? Because things are so serious all the time, especially with Freshly Grounded, because I think Freshly Grounded has recently taken a turn where we're trying to build longevity. In trying to build longevity, there's a lot of admin stuff to take care of. And then so that makes me boring because I'm just trying to deal with the admin stuff. I forgot to have fun, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to just having fun. And alhamdulillah, we've got a team working together on this event. And
So who's on the tour? It's just you, Sam. How's it?
there's going to be some special guests, but we haven't announced them yet.
Oh, what, top secret, yeah.
Inshallah, yeah, top
Nice.
secret.
Alhamdulillah, Allahumma barik,
Alhamdulillah.
man.
We got some really interesting people in the pipeline. I'll tell you about them, inshallah.
Inshallah. What, so it's London, Birmingham,
Manchester.
Manchester. Nice, mashallah. man.
I think the closest one to selling out right now is Birmingham.
Is it?
I think so, or might be London. No, it's Birmingham. Yeah,
And-
Birmingham.
And London.
Birmingham, then London, then Manchester.
So you guys, inshallah, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Where can they purchase their tickets?
freshlygrounded.com/tour.
And I'm gonna be there, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants us life.
Yeah, inshallah.
Definitely, man. I'm excited for it, bro. I think it's a new phase, especially like it's a nice tour.
Yeah,
Freshly
man, tour's
Grounded tour.
nice. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do.
You told me
next,
to
though,
do
bro.
like a tour anyway. I remember you telling
Yeah,
me in the car,
remember.
like a Sunnah Remedies tour.
I said, do the tour, bro.
You
Go
think I
around.
should do that,
yeah, we come with us, Akhi. Anywhere you go, get some hijama going.
Yeah, definitely,
Bro, listen,
man.
you know,
some sports therapy, some grassing therapy.
I'm thinking, what do we do next?
What for Freshly Grounded?
Shall I tell you what it has to be?
Go on, then.
We're gonna have to go international.
Bro, I got a sick idea.
What?
Oh, listen to this, yeah. Like, say for example, like you could do retreats, like a freshly grounded retreat.
Nah, but
Like in
that's hard
Morocco.
that's hard to organise, man.
Nah, it's not, man. Like start off small, bro. Like start off
Maybe
Like,
if we can make it happen in Morocco, bro, and you can hook us up.
Yeah, we can make it
Inshallah,
happen in
get a little
Morocco,
villa,
bro.
do a little
Yeah, bro, it will be sick.
workshop.
Yeah,
Get some leadership people in to like teach leadership.
Yeah.
Some fitness people in to teach some
That'd
we
be
could do
good,
some
bro.
workouts. Actually, you know what? I want to do a show in Canada.
Yeah,
Toronto.
do you get a lot of?
But we've got big viewership in Toronto.
Serious?
The two places we've got big viewership in that I'm surprised by is Toronto and
Australia.
Indonesia.
Is it? Subhanallah.
Bro,
Indonesia, yeah.
people send me videos of people listening to Freshly Grounded in the barbershops in Indonesia.
Subhanallah.
We've got a big barber following, obviously, because of Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of Sam, we've got a big barber following.
Mashallah. How is he, man? He's good.
Allahumma barik, he's good, akhi, man. I miss him, man.
I
miss him so
akhi,
much.
man.
Haven't
I know
seen
he's
him in
busy. He's doing his thing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah.
I think he's in Barcelona right now.
Mashallah, man. That's
Akhi,
nice,
man, I miss Sam, akhi, man. The jokes that I get with that guy, Allahumma barik.
It's good, akhi, man. You lot got that connection that started the whole process, bro.
Alhamdulillah.
And it's a chemistry. Yeah, alhamdulillah, man. And you know what is, bro? Wallahi, I was thinking about it, yeah? Like, in life, like, you're not going to be everybody. Like, even, like, say, for example, because I offer a service, yeah? I deal with a lot of people every day. And, like, 99% of my clients, alhamdulillah, I get along with like a house on fire. And, like sometimes you're not, like, obviously that 1%, or I can count how many people, like, naturally, like, and I'm sure anybody that deals in services, whether they're a barber, whether they offer a service, there's some people that you're going to come across, and naturally, not because they're bad, that you don't get along with. And I remember the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where that he said that arwah junudun mujannada, that the souls are like soldiers, in it, like in a sense that some get along with each other. Like, in a sense, when you pair them, some get along with each other and some just don't get along with each other. So, like, sometimes, yeah, bro, like, you could meet someone that you don't know for, like, that you never met, but you've just spent, like, maybe like half an hour with him, or maybe an hour with him, and you feel like you've known this person for so long, and you're like, really, like, we're so similar. And that's how the souls are. Sometimes the soul, like our souls, sometimes attract or repel. And like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's because not everybody's gonna be similar to you, and that's not a bad thing. Not everybody's gonna be your cup of tea. Like some brothers here, I'll give you an example. Some brothers or some of my clients, and I said the majority, like sometimes the majority of my clients become my friends. Alhamdulillah, for me, I love that. I enjoy my job more because I get to meet different types of people from different types of walks and different successes, and I love that because I find inspiration in that. So I'm like, wow, how did you do that? And I would like to do that. I love it. I enjoy it. But some people, like, you just don't get along with, it, and it's not like a bad thing. It's just people are creative. Obviously, I, as a professional, I do my job. I have to do what's upon me, and that's always improving. But in a sense that not everybody's gonna float your boat.
You know who I feel like the last person I could probably imagine that when I met them, I just felt like that connection with.
Yeah.
Adam Afghan.
Adam Afghani.
He's from I don't think he's Afghani though.
Adam.
He might be. He's from your ends, bro. I think.
Adam Afghan.
Yeah.
His surname is Afghan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the brother very well.
Yeah, you know him, innit?
Yeah.
You do jiu-jitsu with him or something.
No, he does jiu-jitsu, and I used to do jiu-jitsu before I got injured. I need to go back to.
But maybe he's come to you for hijama or something.
Yeah, he comes to me. Yeah, he comes to me for hijama.
So, akhi, when I met him, he just
suffered a lot of mental health.
He suffered a lot of mental health.
Mental health is
and he has ups and downs still.
Yeah, akhi, that's life, bro. With all of us, wallahi, akhi. A lot of people, bro, like sometimes, like, you don't know that a lot of people go through real madness. Like, I think 2 days ago, like, this brother comes to me for hijama, like, and here and there, he comes quite often.
More often than me.
Yeah. We need to get you on that bed. And bro, like obviously he's so quiet. He's not timid, but he's a good brother, but he's very, very quiet. But like, obviously, like, when you see your clients, often you develop a relationship with them. And me personally, I love to speak to my clients, and I feel like they feel they're comfortable with me to share their struggles in life. And obviously, I'm not going to mention the brother's name, but it's mad because he said that one of his family members who are quite close to him were going through, like, mental health. And it's sad because you see this person visibly and you think nothing's going wrong in their life, and like, actually, like, there's a lot to that person, and it's important that we're there for those people, innit? Maybe it was the fact that maybe he told me that maybe I could help him in something. Maybe I could just reassurance, bro. Just to reassure someone, you don't know what that does to someone.
It's important to have a conversation, definitely.
Yeah, and like I personally believe people out there that are suffering from mental health, that are suffering from insecurities, because sometimes insecurities can present themselves in very, very nasty ways. Because I'm insecure in somebody, because I'm insecure in myself, I'll vent that insecurity into a particular type of people.
Yeah, or you just become a bit of a hater. You become a bit of a hater.
You become a proper hater, man. You become a hasid,
because you see someone just like doing it.
Yeah, and you think, and you feel that just because you're insecure, don't kind of vent your insecurities on other people. And bro, like don't be a hater, bro. Just
it's okay to be vulnerable.
It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to feel like, I'm insecure in a particular aspect and I need to work on that. But don't actually start calling out people and start, being nasty to people. And you know what it is, bro? Like, people see past that. Like, say for example, like I try my best not to put negativity, because we already got a lot of negativity out there in the world, innit? I try my best to be as positive as I can be, and uplifting, and like teach people something. And I want people to, I want people to come to my Instagram page and feel inspired, not come to my Instagram page and like compare themselves. Oh, I want to have like, do you know what I'm trying to say to you? And because we got enough of that. How's the chair doing?
It's good.
Sheikh Faisal, man.
I was listening to that.
Yeah, no.
Was that rude?
No, it wasn't. I liked it.
I was just
I went to do it.
I was just trying to get myself the right height for you.
No, I went to. Do I have it as well?
Akhi, let's talk about Ramadan.
Ramadan Sharif.
Yeah, let's talk about Ramadan.
Ramadan Sharif.
Akhi, Ramadan is not. Akhi. The supermarkets are already preparing. Akhi, are we? You know what I mean?
The supermarkets are preparing for Corona.
Akhi, I walked in the supermarket like 3 weeks ago. Akhi, and it's like,
this is Ramadan.
Ramadan. Yeah, akhi, I was like, what? Look, 1, 2, 3.
There's 45 days, I think.
4, 5. We're 6 weeks away from Ramadan.
Ramadan is a very, very, all jokes aside, Ramadan is a very, very special month.
I can't wait, bro.
Towards the end of Ramadan, you feel like, you know what?
6 weeks.
I need this charger. I need this iman charger.
I can't wait, Ak.
Yeah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to reach Ramadan in good health.
Ameen.
With our family members.
Ramadan, صح?
Allahumma balighna Ramadan. Yeah, man. And we need to prepare for it, bro.
It's weird how like you're so excited for a period of time in which you're going to be restricted from eating and drinking. Like any other time, like if you was like, in 2 weeks time you're going to not be able to eat and drink during sunrise, I'll be like, man, like I want the time to slow down. But with Ramadan, you can't wait, because it's not. It's just about the general feeling of Ramadan, it's just amazing, man.
It's the feeling, and it's a time to cleanse your soul, to discipline yourself.
It's amazing how you can actually feel your soul cleansing.
Yeah, like the feeling.
It's like it's a physical feeling.
Yeah, of course. It's a physical and spiritual feeling, your iman, and we need to get rid of a lot of sins that we've probably accumulated throughout the whole year.
Yeah.
Ramadan, it's a blessed month in which the Holy Quran was revealed. And it's got a night which is more than khayrun min alf shahr, worth more than 1,000 months, more than 83 years. Imagine you do a ibadah in that night, and it's equivalent to 83 years of ibadah. What a bargain! That's mad,
It's just a bargain, mate.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to see many Ramadans,
I mean,
and to fast. We need to, and it's important that we need to get in that habit of trying to fast Mondays and Thursdays, especially leading up to Ramadan. Giving in charity, especially with the things that are happening around the world. Try to give to the poor. Try to give to the people that are in need. Even like, you got people here in need in Great Britain, bro. And like a lot of people are a lot of children now are under the poverty line, below the poverty line. In fact, maybe you could actually there's so much good things that we could do, and Ramadan is about making good habits, not just in Ramadan, but those good habits lasting well after Ramadan has gone. And it's an investment. Ramadan is an investment, bro. It's like the best thing that you could come out with in Ramadan is that your sins are forgiven. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaba ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi." Like whoever fasts Ramadan out of iman, out of belief and hoping, having good thoughts of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in terms of the reward, then all of his sins are forgiven. Akhi, what more do you want? What more do you want, akhi? That's a win-win situation, bro. It's a win situation, akhi. And it's a chance to rectify your shortcomings with Allah. Making plenty dua. I can't wait, man. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to see that month, bro.
Inshallah, man.
What does Ramadan mean to you, Faisal? Honestly, like say for example, you're saying to me that you're excited about Ramadan. But what is it like? what is it specifically about Ramadan
It
that
feels
you enjoy?
like it's definitely easier
Make sure that you have more free time this year.
to. I have made sure of that.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Why'd you say that? What was I
Because
doing?
last year you said you were quite busy.
I was in it.
Yeah, and you didn't have enough time to do your stuff.
Nah,
Obviously-
but guess what? Last
What?
year. No, I don't want to.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm just saying to you.
Last year, alhamdulillah, there was one thing that I did out of the kid I was very happy with, alhamdulillah, last year. But I'll tell you after.
You want to come Umrah with me?
Inshallah, akhi, why would I say no to Umrah? Are you going this year in Ramadan?
Maybe.
Akhi, you're always there, Allahumma barik.
No. I'm not, bro. Don't even try that, bro.
Akhi, listen to this.
I want to
yeah.
go.
How
but
many times you been since we went together? Like, you've been at least 3 times since then.
No.
Two.
Once. Well, once.
No, you've been back there.
I went for
Umrah,
Hajj.
for Hajj.
I went for Hajj. That's obviously
That's
Hajj. That's it. I went for
Okay.
Hajj and obviously Umrah. I done it there anyway.
Bro, you know, with Ramadan, yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like it's easier to do deeds that maybe other times of the year you lack on. Like, for example, reading the Mus'haf as much as possible.
The ulama have spoken about it. Why is it so easy to do? Why is it so easy? Imagine that. Why is it so easy to do good deeds in Ramadan? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, some of the ulama, they said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it opens the gates of heaven, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants the Muslims to benefit. So because another hadith that where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that رغم أنف امرئ, that may the person's nose be rubbed in dust, that Ramadan comes upon him and his sins are not forgiven. And the scholar says, why is that the case? Because they say Ramadan is a time, because the shayateen are chained, there's less influence on that person.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So it's easier for him to do good deeds.
You know what, bro? I've heard stories, although I haven't seen it myself that I can remember, but I've heard stories that, no, not that I haven't seen it myself, stuff like I don't mean like that, but I've heard stories where Ramadan, just the month of Ramadan, has changed someone completely, like, that they go into Ramadan one person and they come out a completely different person and they stay like that forever.
And that's from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepting the person's Ramadan. And that happens because, bro, you have to understand, like, we live in a day and age where people are very judgmental, in a sense that, look, obviously we judge from the apparent and this and that, but we have to be very soft. We live in a time and a period where we have to be very soft with the people. You know, don't be harsh. Yeah, you can correct. Yeah, you can bring people to account, but do it in a way where it's the person sees it as, look, this person genuinely cares for me, rather than this person, he just wants to send for me. Like, you know, he just wants to send for me, really. And
It's nice to give advice to people in person, isn't it? Because you can see the context of it.
But sometimes people say that, look, if the person, because there is a thing where if the person does a thing in public, then he should be corrected in public. And I just feel that those are for the people that are well versed and well educated, you know, students of knowledge, people of knowledge. It's not for any Tom, Dick, and Harry to come and just, you know, bring people to account, because there's a way in which you do it. Because sometimes if you do it the wrong way, bro, you could actually create a detrimental effect on that individual. And I don't know, bro, like, because there's a lot of things, because people, like, say, for example, unfortunately we do live, because it's hard to advise the person in private, because sometimes it might get hard, it may be hard to get to that person and actually genuinely want to advise him. And it's sad because, like, like, we live in a day and age where people, I'm trying to say it in a proper way, where people publicize their sins. Like, bro, like, everybody's got, like, nobody can come to me and say they're perfect, bro. Even actually, nobody can say they're perfect. Everybody's got sins that nobody else want to know. Like nobody else wants to know about. Like, everybody has sins in it that they're ashamed of. Everybody has certain weaknesses, but unfortunately, like, there's a difference between someone having that weakness and someone having that weakness and putting it in social media or advertising it. And I think that's where the issue is, because, bro, like. Okay, metalin. Let's just say, like, for argument's sake, you might have an issue where you might be smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, smoking a pipe shisha. I'm talking about the sin, whatever it may be. But, bro, no problem. Like, everybody, okay, inshallah, may Allah make it easy for you to come off that kind of sin, because everybody sins and people sin in different way. But don't go out of your way exposing yourself. Like, there's no need for you to post. And the reason why, I talk about this is because, you know, the Prophet ﷺ said that my whole ummah is forgiven, except for the ones that do sins and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala conceals their sins, and they go out of their way to publicize their sins. Because when you publicize your sins, it's like you're challenging Allah. Like nobody wants to see you smoking on a pipe or smoking a spliff or doing something that's immoral or doing something that you shouldn't be doing. A lot of things, actually. Nobody wants to see that, because would you want your mum and dad to see that? No, you wouldn't. Do you understand? So, why are you going to go expose yourself when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has concealed you? Because no one is perfect, bro. Akhi, some people got different illnesses. Some people got different addictions. Like we were speaking about addictions. Some people might have porn addiction. Some people might have weed addiction. People go through things in life and they turn to things in the hope that it might make their suffering less. But these are all sins that we violate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That we violate, to be honest, we violate our souls. Do you understand? We're violating ourselves. But don't go out of your way and start hotting up yourself. Don't do that. Allah's concealed you, akhi. Why? Akhi, Allah has concealed your sins. Don't do that. Conceal yourself. Because what I'm trying to say is that everybody's got shortfalls. And you know what it is? But we're trying to advise people because we love people. We're not trying to advise people because I think that I'm better than you, or I feel like I'm pious, because I'm not. That's not the reality, akhi. I might have a weakness that you might not have. Faisal, you might have a weakness that you might have a test. It might be with, an example, it might be with music, depending on whatever. Or you might have a fitna of gambling. Many people have a fitna. Many people have a problem when it comes to gambling. Some people find it hard to stay off gambling. Some people find it hard to. I don't want to go too deep into to mentioning certain things, but the reality is, don't go out of your way to hot yourself up when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has concealed you. Show people different things. Yeah, okay, you might have social media. And this is why I think I said something on my Instagram today, yeah, and I don't know what it was. It's like, 1 second, let me see. It's like, I don't want to be an influencer, bro. I don't want to be a model.
I think I saw that. Was it on your story or something?
It was on my story, man.
I may have seen that.
Because when you're a model, you start, bro, how is it, yeah, we live in a day and age here, Faisal, where you can be so famous by doing mad things, innit? But if you're trying to create change, a positive change in people's life, and to be honest, akhi, the fame is not important here. It's just people are more willing to criticize you when you're trying to create change than, like, if they see a singer, they'll put on his tune and they'll at him, or they want to take a picture with my man and at him, akhi, the breast doing madness. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you, akhi? It's like we live in a topsy-turvy world, bro, where like morality has become immorality and immorality has become morality.
You said stop being a part of their audience.
Yeah.
People that wouldn't even care about you or have some empathy towards you. No to models, no to influencers. These are the modern day magicians. They present to you their mirage. Stop being a thirsty fan. People are afraid when you start to realize. Why am I reading like that?
No.
I'm reading like I can't read.
No.
Stop being a thirsty fan. People are afraid when you start to realize your worth. I've learned a lot and I've noticed a lot. You can talk about being real, but you'll bought your followers. You bought your followers.
You bought your followers. Yeah.
Maybe I can't read that. There was a time I got an A in English
you're
literature.
listening to too much audible.
Yeah, there was a time I got an A in English lit.
Allahumma barik, man.
I mean, akhi, Allahumma barik. You posted a picture of you at the Freshly Grounded event.
Yeah.
Did you caption?
I added you, bro. I added you in my story.
You should have captioned it saying "Purchase your tickets for the next event." Link in their bio.
I'll do that. I got you, bro. You know what? Send me your thing in it. I'll put it up, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
But,
akhi, how's fatherhood going? Talk to me about that.
Akhi, fatherhood is a blessing, akhi, man.
Yeah.
I love being a father, akhi, and I'm very, alhamdulillah, I can say, like, alhamdulillah, I try my best to be a good dad. I'm very close. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always keep me that way. I'm very close to my kids. I try to be
Do you miss them every time you leave the house?
Yeah, wallah, I do, akhi, I do. But alhamdulillah, they say I don't go for long, akhi. Like, even when I travel, I don't go for long. But fatherhood.
Have you ever experienced the feeling, like someone mentioned this in their story, and I was like, wow. Have you ever experienced this feeling when, like, your child is up and you just feel like, wow, like, it's time for you to sleep now, go sleep. And then when they're sleeping, you're like, I just want them to wake up. I just want them to wake up.
Yeah, fatherhood, akhi, is a blessing. And I think it's important that whoever is a father out there is not just a father, is an active father.
Yeah.
And we learned this from the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I think the most important thing, especially as a father, is that when you are with your children, make sure that you're present. Because sometimes I used to ask myself, like, how did the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a great leader? How was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a great husband? How was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam a great father? How was he a great friend? How was he a great companion? And how was it that all the companions felt that he was the most loved person? And I used to say, I used to ask myself, like, how is that such a? Obviously, he's the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who's a special man. He was the last messenger, but it dawned upon me that every time he was with a particular person, he would give them that 100% attention. So, say for example, like I'm with you right now, I need to give you my 100% attention.
You won't be swinging up your chair up and down.
Yeah, up and down, and I'm No, but you know what I mean? As in, like, even like, how is it? Yeah, that obviously he was a leader, he was a general. He would be busy sorting out the affairs of the people and making sure that things are in place and things are done correctly. Justice is always administered. People are not being oppressed. People are not being wronged. He was busy, but yet he was so loved. But yet he was so appreciated. Why? Because when he, say for example, when he did spend time with his kids, he made sure that he was 100% present. When he did spend time with his wives, he made sure that he was 100% present. When he spent time with his companions, he made sure that he had their undivided attention, and they had his undivided attention. And I think that's what it comes down to. Be present whenever you are there. Be present and make sure that you're fulfilling your basic obligations and your responsibilities.
Sometimes it's not easy, isn't it? Like when you got things on your mind, you can your mind can move off because the brain is such a powerful thing.
Yeah.
So it's hard to always control that, I think. For me anyway.
But I think with time, inshallah, you would develop it, man. It's a look. Fatherhood is like any other experience. You learn in it. You're learning.
Akhi, you know when you were just reading Maghrib and then you was, do you remember what ayat you were reading in the second rak'ah?
Yeah.
It was the same surah, I think, for the first rak'ah and the second.
Yeah.
And then you said something, where you said in the Quran ayah, you said it was talking about the people of Sabr, and then after that, I think it's the next ayah. It said ulaika humul. And he says I didn't know what that word is.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُم مُّصِيبَةٌ.
It's okay, but we'll finish. That's gone off, but we'll finish after this.
Okay. So الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون.
Muhtadun. What's the muhtadun?
The ones that are guided.
Break that word down.
From hidayah.
That's the root word.
Muhtadun.
And the meme is like. Is that the same meme that, like, for example, where it's like if the entrance is to say enter, you'd say udkhul. So like an entrance is the madkhal.
Yeah,
so is it the same meme?
So this goes into nahw, it goes into grammar and balagha, do you understand? So muhtadun is like the fi'l, as in they are constantly guided. Muhtadun. But Allahu A'lam, I could be wrong.
All right, cool, bro. Listen, the cameras just decided to go off on us. Let's call it a day there, inshallah ta'ala. It's evening. We both got to get home. Barakallahu feek. Yeah, barakallahu feek for spending your time with us, akhi. Jazakallahu khair. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. Inshallah, we'll see you soon. Yep. Come join us for episode in Ramadan, inshallah.
I will.
Yeah.
No,
be nice.
No, I'm here.
We'll talk about the diet in Ramadan.
Of course.
Yeah, let's come in Ramadan and let's talk about. If you come early in Ramadan, inshallah, we can talk with the people about the diet that they should have in Ramadan.
I hear that.
All right, bro.
Maybe we could bring Bu Azizi and Dr. Riz.
Yeah, for sure.
Inshallah. That would be good. Inshallah. You never know.
Inshallah.
Habibi.
All right, bro.
Assalamu alaikum.